Our feud begins when CM Punk will face MVP on the last episode of ECW in 2007, and as Punk will be hung up in the ropes, he will be disqualified. MVP don't care and he just boots Punk in the corner, where then Chavo Guerrero randomly comes out and then just starts giving Punk the business with the Three Amigos and then the Frog Splash to follow. We open on New Year's Day for WWE ECW, and Chavo is in the ring with ECW General Manager Armando Estrada. Chavo says it's great to be back in ECW, and he says that Guerreros love controversy. Chavo says that he attacked CM Punk, and he says that he was injured at the hands of Rey Mysterio, and he said that he wasn't even able to walk. He was watching back home and watching the emergence of CM Punk, and Chavo says that Punk is the future of ECW. ECW champion CM Punk then interrupts his promo with "This fire burns." CM Punk says his reason is horseshit, and Chavo calls Punk a stepping stone for him. Chavo then mentions that he has already been a world champion. I don't think Cruiserweight champion counts, bud. Punk states a fact and says he's no one's stepping stone, and he demands Chavo challenges him. Armando keeps the peace between the two, and he says that Chavo can earn his title match by defeating Punk tonight, AEW Eliminator style. Later that night, we get to our aforementioned match. Punk and Chavo lock up to start the first match of the video as well. Joey Styles mentions that this is Chavo's first match in 4 months, which I thought was pretty odd, and I won't reveal why because that may be a future video as well. Punk starts chopping up Chavo, hits the baseball slides, and then hip tosses Guerrero away. Punk dodges a corner attack with the Gamagiri, follows up with the springboard crossbody for the 2 count. Chavo starts firing on Punk's back. Chavo catches the leg out of the corner and then starts elbowing his knee. Chavo targets the knee with some kicks and then snaps it like it's Wingstop. Chavo works on Punk's knee with the Indian Deathlock and then the half into the full Muda lock before Punk can escape back into another submission. Punk powers Chavo out of the headlock and slams him with the back suplex. Chavo soon recovers and then hits the chop block for the 1 count. Punk corkscrews out of Chavo's hold, nails the spin kick and then the running knee lift. Punk starts up the Danielson special and then catches Chavo with the single leg drop kick. Punk looks for a pedigree, but then Chavo powers him into the corner. Punk catches Chavo off the Irish whip rebound with the knee and the bulldog for the 2 count. Chavo looks to show some Chavito heat with the Three Amigos, but only Dos will be available as Punk then maneuvers Chavo into the GTS. Chavo counters, and then they both go crashing over the top rope. Scott Armstrong then starts the count as Punk and Chavo start fighting each other to get back into the ring, and at the count of 8, Punk pushes Chavo back with the kick, and Chavo is not able to beat the count, meaning he hasn't earned his ECW title match. Next week on ECW, and we have a rematch on our hands between Chavo and Punk. Punk and Chavo take some faint shots at each other before locking up. Punk tries to lock in a Kimura, which is crazy, and then Guerrero continues the working holds. Punk with the drop down, leapfrog, and then Chavo takes flight with the monkey flip. A lot of nothing happens until Punk gives Chavo some kicks to the back out of the crab attempt, and then slingshots him over the top. Punk takes a dive and missiles himself into Chavo, turning into a tumbleweed in the process. Punk gets back in the ring and nails Chavo with the springboard clothesline. Chavo is sent into the corner and then bashed with the signature knee bulldog combination for the 2 count. Punk looks for the underhook backbreaker, but then Chavito Heat fires up again and only hits another 2 amigos on CM Punk. Punk fights him into the GTS, where Chavo then slides off his back and hits the Canadian backbreaker for a 2 count. Chavo starts removing the turnbuckle pad, and then Scott starts yelling at Chavo for getting caught, where he then grabs the ECW championship. The ref catches Chavo again and steals the belt back from him and then disqualifies Chavo. Punk wastes no time and then puts Chavo to sleep. Chavo has yet again failed at earning an ECW championship match. Next episode of ECW, and the World Heavyweight Champion Edge is conducting the Cutting Edge, where he introduces his guest CM Punk. Edge says Punk reminds him of a more, quote, punk version of himself and congratulates him for being ECW champion. He says, "Who have you really beat as champion?" Edge then asks what would he do if Chavo would ask for a 3rd opportunity. Punk says that he respects all of his opponents, including Chavo, and Punk says that he would accept. He also says that if Edge were to challenge him, then he'd beat him too. Chavo then interrupts the interview. Chavo then parrots whatever Edge is saying and then challenges him to yet another match, to which Punk said they've had this conversation before and he says he's going to beat him for a 3rd time before Edge and Chavo jump him. Chavo then tosses Punk into the ring post a few times before this segment concludes. Later that night, we get to our rematch, where Edge then also joins Taz and Joey Styles on commentary. Punk starts booting Chavo to kick us off, and Chavo begins the working holds. We come back from commercials, and we're still in the working holds.
Yes, I did take umbrage to that. Thank you, Joey.
Punk does something to Chavo and cracks him with the enziguri, where Chavo then pinpoints Punk with a dropkick for a 2 count. Chavo just works on Punk's limbs on the ground for a while, so there's not much to mention until he drops Punk with a hammerlock back suplex for a 2 count. Punk with the spin kicks and the single leg to follow, with Punk hitting the knee in the corner, but then Chavo tosses him out of the bulldog, which causes a double boot. Punk goes to the top rope, where then Chavo wrenches Punk's arm on the rope and he goes crashing down to the floor. Edge takes his ultimate opportunity and clocks Punk with the World Heavyweight Championship and then just sits back down.
What a match. What a match. What a match. Are you kidding me? This is a great match.
Edge has laid Punk out on the floor, which allows Chavo Guerrero to win the matchup by countout and finally earn his ECW Championship opportunity.
That sucks. You know what, Joey? You suck. Goodbye.
Before we get to our championship match, Chavo will be competing in a tag team match as a part of La Familia on SmackDown. Chavo Guerrero teams with Edge to take on CM Punk and Rey Mysterio. Our stars for this video will kick off this tag team encounter. Chavo with the drop down, soon after gets nailed with the single leg drop kick. Punk then tags in Rey Mysterio and they hit a senton heart attack for a count of 1. Chavo nails a quick uppercut on Rey and then rolls over to tag Edge. Rey looks for the 619, but then Edge rolls out and Punk gets a sneaky kick on the apron. Chavo runs after Punk and then goes flying over the top rope. CM Punk and Rey Mysterio then hit tandem suicide dives onto their opponents. Punk starts chopping Edge up, hits some of the 10 count punches, and then just dive bombs on the Chavo, where then Edge recovers and hits Punk with the big boot. Edge then tags Chavo in for a super arm attack or some shit. Punk avoids a corner throw, tries to tag in Rey, gets booted in the gut, and then he's slid into the corner post through the bottom by Edge. Chavo soon tags back in and hits the axe handle. Chavo shit cans Punk with the backbreaker after some time. Chavito Heat fires up, but then he gets extinguished with a roundhouse for the double down. Edge gets the tag, but Punk follows him up with the knee in the corner. Edge pushes Punk off, looks for the spear, but then Punk leaps over him for yet another double down. Chavo smacks Punk into the tag to Rey, and Rey starts flying all over the place with the crossbodies. Rey gets rolled out and hits the blockbuster, followed by the front drop kick for the 2 count. Rey sends Chavo to the ropes with the head scissors and hits the 619, and then Edge says fuck it on the outside and hits Rey with a chair. 4 matches in, and none of these matches have had conclusive finishes. Punk stops Edge from picking up the pieces, where the Edge heads then come out and do nothing. Chavo then hits an arm breaker on CM Punk, and then Edge clears out Rey with the spear. Edge smiles at Chavo Guerrero, and they give each other a big hug as La Familia somewhat forms. CM Punk vs Chavo Guerrero, round 4, except this time CM Punk's ECW Championship is on the line. Oh yeah, there's also no disqualifications. Come on WWE ECW, Extreme Rules, it was right there! Edge is also back on commentary again. Punk slaps Chavo down and then starts degloving the turnbuckle before Chavo stops him and does it himself, but this gives Chavo a dropkick. Chavo stops from crashing into the exposed turnbuckle with an uppercut. Punk catches himself on the rope and then tosses Chavo to the apron. Punk then spots a roundhouse and then projectiles himself with the suicide dive. Punk uses his environment a little and then sends Chavo into the stairs. Punk looks for a suplex onto the stairs, instead Punk goes ribs first onto the top of them. Punk slides to avoid the exposed turnbuckle and clotheslines the shit out of Guerrero. Spin kick to the gut and a knee lift followed by the knee into the corner. Chavo avoids the bulldog, tries to send Punk away again, but Punk then hits the bulldog for a 2 count. Punk goes flying off the springboard but gets caught with a dropkick mid-air. Chavo starts up the engine and hits all 3 amigos for the first time in the video, and then ascends to the top, where he then misses the senton, goes face first in the exposed turnbuckle, and then hits the go to sleep on Chavo. Edge appears from ringside and spears Punk out of his boots, as Scott Armstrong can do nothing about it.
What a match, folks. What a match. Can Chavo Guerrero do it?
Chavo then crawls over to Punk and wins the match with Edge's help once again, and this time he walks out as ECW World Champion. Edge then presents the championship to Chavo, and all of La Familia come down to ringside to celebrate. You guys want to hear a Chavo Guerrero promo? Too bad, I fucking don't. We go to the next episode of WWE ECW, where Chavo Guerrero is holding a fiesta for becoming ECW World Champion, and all set with a mariachi band and everything, with the ring even decked out for a party. Chavo then invites us all to celebrate with a champion and to celebrate the fiesta. Chavo does some dancing as we then see some balloons starting to rain down from the ceiling, and this crowd couldn't be more dead. I don't blame them, this party is pure ass. The main mariachi guy then turns around and smashes his guitar over Chavo's head mid-dance. He then de-hats and then removes the mustache to reveal that it is CM Punk. CM Punk then rips the belt off of Chavo and looks to win the title back soon. We head back to SmackDown for the same match that we had the last time we were on SmackDown.
Hooray!
Punk and Chavo will again kick this tag team match off. Punk lights Chavo up and then tags in Rey, where he then just rolls away and then starts tying up with him. Rey locks Chavo in a camel clutch and then Punk gets tagged in with a kick. Chavo soon barrel rolls and then tags in Edge. Punk counters an Irish whip, Edge then pulls Chavo down to avoid the knee, and then Punk just gets shit canned down to the floor. Punk finally gets a double down after a big enziguri on Chavo and getting the hot tag into Rey Mysterio, who crossbodies Edge. After a little bit of time, Chavo topes into the ring after a tag and starts attacking Rey's surgically repaired left knee. Rey finally gets his recovery with a roll-through dropkick on the Chavo. Chavo stops Rey from tagging, as then Edge drops the elbow. Rey gets popped up into a senton onto Chavo and then hits the Tilt-A-Whirl Hurricane Rana on Edge to score the tag to Punk. Punk with some back body drops, gets the Bandera spot, and then clears Chavo out with the springboard clothesline, but Chavo kicks out at 2. Punk with the knee to the jaw, Punk barely clears Edge for the spear attempt, and then drop kicks La Familia into one another. Rey with the Hurricane Rana onto Edge, he looks for the double 619. Edge runs away and Chavo is caught in the crossfire, where then Rey dives on the Edge onto the floor, where Punk then puts Chavo to sleep with the GTS to win the matchup for his team. Our final matchup of the video is mere minutes away as we open the next episode of ECW with CM Punk getting ready for a town hall. Punk then says that Chavo didn't invite him to the party, so instead he decided to crash it. Punk then says that he is invoking his rematch clause tonight. Punk then says that CM stood for Crazy Mariachi, and Chavo says that Punk has insulted his heritage. He then says that Punk isn't getting his rematch tonight, but he will get it at No Way Out. Spoiler alert, Chavo actually retains the title at that match. Chavo says that Punk embarrassed him last week, so tonight Chavo is going to embarrass Punk. Armando Estrada is standing alongside the Gulf of Mexico outside the arena, and he announces that CM Punk will be going one-on-one with Chavo Guerrero in the first and only Gulf of Mexico match. Extreme rules apply, and the only way to win is by throwing your opponent into the Gulf of Mexico. Flash forward to our main event, and we get the Gulf of Mexico match. Our match begins in the ring, and they start slap fighting to start us off, before Punk then throws Chavo to the floor and starts elbowing him. Chavo tosses Punk into the stairs and then uppercuts him over the barricade. Chavo targets some chairs and Punk goes crashing into the pile. Punk starts transporting Chavo through the crowd, where Chavo then struggles to drop Punk on a railing. Punk gives Chavo an axe handle from the barricade and then body slams him onto the steel floor. Punk then starts transporting him all throughout the arena. We hold the cameras for a little bit before our cameraman hauls ass towards a door, and we see that Punk and Chavo are brawling outside the arena. SmackDown Here Comes the Pain style. Punk starts carrying Chavo through traffic, where a car then just drives up and honks at them, and then Chavo says fuck your car, and then CM Punk gets sent right through their windshield. Punk kicks Chavo off of him and then knocks the cameraman down to go to our commercials. Punk is now carrying Chavo, and he slams him onto the hood of a van. Chavo evades off of Punk, and then Punk sends him with a back body drop through the windshield. Chavo sends Punk over a railing, does a little pose on top, and then just starts beating his ass and kicking his ribs. Chavo scares the two random-ass fishermen in the background, and then Chavo lifts up a cooler and tosses it at Punk. Punk goes to send Chavo over, which causes a struggle before they both just continue to punch. Chavo holds Punk under his boot, lifts him up, and then looks to suplex him into the water. It's ineffective as Punk rolls off the back and then lifts Chavo up and hits him with the GTS, which sends Chavo into the Gulf of Mexico. Chavo is trying to swim to shore, but I guess Chavo can't swim, and he drowns. And that's how the Gulf of Mexico match ended.